Like, share, subscribe to Live for Love TV.
Hello, everybody. My name is Caleb, and you're watching Live for Love TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Welcome back, Live for Love TV. Today's the 15th day of the first month, 22nd year of the 21st century. Hope everyone's doing well out there. We have to take back the narrative from the criminals. We really do. Recently in Jamaica, a 9-year-old boy, mum was punched in the mouth in her car. She was carjacked and thrown out of her car and carjacked, basically. But the boy was still in the car. By the time the police have found the car, the 9-year-old boy had his throat cut. We've got to take back the narrative from these people. We've got to get away from this dancehall culture that told us in the 80s that informer for dead. Who's an informer? Who's the informer you're talking about? Are you talking about the people who move with the criminals, or just anybody that speaks to the police? The narrative has to be changed. You can't have a situation where you blame the police for not being able to police without information. We challenge you on Live for Love TV to tell us anywhere in the world where the police work without information. Anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world you see police force, the more successful the police force is, the more information they're given. Police always arrive on the scene after a crime has been committed. They're never there, very rarely there before any crime. They're there after the crime. So it's always people in a community, it's always people on the ground, it's almost people in any society that have to fulfill the police with information, and then they do the rest of the investigation and then get to the bottom of it. The fact that we've allowed the criminals to create the narrative that anybody that gives information, regardless of whether they have anything to do with the case or not, is an informer, is why the complaints about police not doing their work and not capturing these people should be mute. None of us have the right to say that. None of us. All the people saying, oh, this is terrible, the crime is going up, and the crime this, and the violent crime, and what. Who's going to give information? And also, we also know that in certain places in the world, the police are not trustworthy. So I understand it's not just a one size fits all, where people just go out and give information. But the narrative has to be changed. You cannot have these kind of murderers walking amongst people on a daily basis and expect that the thing is going to change. All criminals start at a certain level. They start off by maybe stealing a bike or a little this or a little that. Then they graduate, and as they graduate, eventually they're robbing banks and supermarkets and building societies, laying people down and killing them. But they never start at that point. They always start at a lower end. So you have to catch them early. And all of this concept about these people are informers who give information, if that doesn't change, then all the newspapers that report the crime in any country in the world, if you know that your people are not giving information, reporting the crime is senseless. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. What's the point of reporting it? All you do is end up frightening people with no solution. My solution's always been the same. People have to come together in a community, act, and support those who help to give information to get these people put behind bars or whatever. The people who give the information mustn't feel isolated. This is what some of us don't understand, why the eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth in certain countries don't actually happen, doesn't need to happen. The reason it doesn't need to happen is because they have police forces. And the police force was set up in order so that we don't have to go around vigilantly catching people and taking people out. Some people like to boast about, oh, the community will take care of it. Well, young girls, the end of last year in Jamaica, 2 young girls were kidnapped. And before the second one was found, an innocent man was caught by the community and murdered. And you know, nobody's going to go to prison for that. No one's going to get charged for that. Was that right? Without investigation. That's why we need a police force. There needs to be some form of investigation into crimes. You can't just always take it on your own head and say, yes, that's the guy over there, let's go for him. You make these kind of mistakes, and these mistakes are not the kind of mistakes that can ever be corrected. So the reason I'm talking about that today is because that 9-year-old boy is in Jamaica. It's riveting the whole country. Happened in St. James. And everybody's up in arms, and they're angry, and they want the person caught. But even if somebody knew who he was, nobody would say anything. So don't blame the police. Let's blame ourselves. Live for Love TV.
People, one step